2014 is 100 years since the First World War. We have to respect the fallen and we have to remember the survivors' contributions. The First World War started in 1914 and ended in 1918. The Second World War started in 1939 and ended in 1945. In both wars, men and women contributed and protected the British Empire.
John Smith was a bomber pilot born in 1915 in Sierra Leone. He served as a Royal Air Force pilot from 1940 to 1945. But in 1943 he was shot down by the German Air Force, and he spent the rest of the war in a German prison camp. And after the war he became a lawyer in Sierra Leone before moving to Britain.
Lillian Bader was born in Liverpool, England. Her father was part of the Royal Navy from Barbados, but her mother was English. Her brothers also served at sea, and she had a son who became a helicopter pilot for the RAF. When she was young, she spent most of her life as an orphan. When World War II broke out, she joined the WAAF and repaired instruments to help fighter and bomb pilots. She became a leading craftswoman and trained other women to repair instruments as well. She served Britain for 3 years from 1941 to 1944. It is important that we remember her services to Britain because she worked hard and trained others. Her and her family's services will always be remembered and appreciated.
Altaf Hussain Keshti was born in 1922 in Punjab, which is now called Pakistan. He served in the Indian Royal Army. Altaf was in supply, played a vital role in providing ammunition, food and transport to the frontline troops. After the World War, Altaf served in the Pakistan Air Force, then settled in Pakistan with his family.
Winston Millington was a soldier. He was born in 1893 in Barbados but lives in Trinidad. He served the British West Indies Regiment 1915 to 1918 in Egypt and Palestine. He joined as a gunner who was first sent to England, then Egypt. In the Second World War, Winston served as an instructor at the Army training camp in Port of Spain. He died in 1991.
Roshan Horobin was born in 1923.
She served on home front and in Prisoners of War Division, 1939 to 1945 in India.
During World War II, she served as a volunteer in Bombay Hospital.
Roshan joined the Prisoners of War, where she supported returning POWs. It is important not only that America, France and Britain contributed, but other individuals from different nations helped Britain.
The Christmas truce of 1914 was a brief ceasefire during the bitter conflict of the First World War. It is remembered as a time of peace and humanity which interrupted months of brutal fighting.
Football was a major contribution to the entertainment of soldiers during the Christmas truce. Football was played on rough, bombed areas of the ground on the edge of the trenches, using caps as goalposts.
Billy Strachan served in the Royal Air Force in 1940 to 1945. He was born in Jamaica but paid his own fare to get to England. He died in 1998. He trained as a barrister and settled in London when he left the Air Force. He was a bomber in the Air Force.
Woodstoll was born in Kent in 1888. His mother and father died before he was 10. For the rest of his life he was brought up in an orphanage. He became an apprentice printer.
He was spotted in the streets playing football and skated to play for Clapton. Then he moved to play for Spurs in 1909, which made him the first mixed-race professional player.
Walter was transferred to Northampton in 1911 and played over 100 games.
In December 1914, he volunteered for Footballer Battalion Then he was promoted to sergeant in 1916 while serving in France. Walter got trench fever and shell shock.
He was treated in England after the Battle of the Somme. While in the UK, he trained as an officer and returned to France, becoming the first mixed-race officer.
After fighting in Italy, he went back to France and got killed on 25th of March 1918. Other soldiers saw him get shot, but the body was never found.